What is good, y'all? I am so absolutely hyped to get into the Ultra Beast buffs, changes, and reworks in this hack. Keep in mind, all these buffs and changes are balanced for in-game use. The title might be a little bit misleading, but it is balanced for in-game. It's a ROM hack. It's not balanced for showdowns, not balanced for VGC, none of that. It's in-game, and in-game, this is a really awesome late-game Pokemon that you can use once you get to the Ultra Wormholes. Ice Poison, Nihilego makes way too much sense. I understand technically it's supposed to be like, I think it's like glass blowing or something. It's supposed to be made of glass, and glass is made from sand, and sand is rock or ground. I get it. I'm not like rock. Here's my thing: Rock Poison Nihilego is not bad. I like that type combination. That's why Cradily is now that type combo, because I want one Pokemon of every single type combination in this hack, and the only candidate for Ice Poison that makes even a little bit of sense is Nihilego. It makes a lot of sense, and it's also just really fucking cool. And then that's why Cradily is now Rock Poison, and then one of the Miniors is now Grass Rock. So there's one of each of those three types now, thankfully. But yeah, as for Ice Poison, besides the obvious appearance and nature, you know, it's like a brittle, glass, physically frail ice type, it also just fits their vibe. They're this deep sea jellyfish. I'm pretty sure the Ultra world that they're caught in is literally called Ultra Deep Sea. Deep Sea is pretty cold. I just think ice typing fits really, really, really well for them, despite the fact that rock also fits because of the whole ice, because of the whole sand mechanic. And I think Ice Poison is, well, Ice Poison is literally one of the coolest type combinations in the game, in my opinion. It's fucking sick. As for the actual buffs here, HP is decreased because I do base HP more on size. However, special defense is much higher, and then speed and special attack are much higher. The Ultra Beasts have all lost Beast Boosts, reason being that ability is now called Proficiency and is redistributed for regular Pokemon to have. There's only one Ultra Beast that's going to keep Proficiency, and I think it's kind of obvious which one would keep it in terms of like which of the Ultra Beast fits that ability name. But it doesn't mean Nihilego bad. So Levitate, despite no longer being weak to ground, is still great because of how physically frail you are. You can get easy free switch-ins to physical ground moves, and then you have access to that infinite use ability capsule. So Merciless is your offensive ability, and Merciless is so fucking cool and fitting for Nihilego. I love it. It's so awesome because you can run like buffed Black Sludge, substitute T-Spikes, plus Venoshock, plus you're getting, because buff Black Sludge, by the way, that as you see right there, heals you by 12%. So you can use substitute, heal up a shitload, and then you can spam Venoshock in conjunction with all of your beautiful coverage moves. Ice Poison's already good coverage, and then you have all types of coverage moves like Surf, buffed Flash Cannon, Earth Power, Aura Sphere, Psychic, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Dark Pulse. Like, it's just Hydro Pump. Like, it's got so many cool fucking moves. Ultra Beasts in general are all super weird, so they get a lot of weird coverage moves. And that's also why I think a lot of them can have weird type combinations like this, because they're like these weird interdimensional aliens, you know? Nihilego is probably the one I want to use the most now, just because of the awesome type combo. It's probably my favorite type combo in the game, just in terms of like the vibes that it gives off. It's so cool. And then the way that this thing works with Merciless and Buff Black Sludge, and also Venoshock has 70 base power, so with Venoshock that's with T-Spikes up, that's 140, and then obviously for any steel types or poison types, you have Earth Power, you have Aura Sphere, you have Flash Cannon for other coverage, you have Ice Beam Stab. It's beautiful. A Surf for, you know, fire and stuff. You can really just swap around that last coverage move depending on the boss fight that's coming up, because you're not always going to need coverage. Power Gem is also there, by the way. So you have all types of coverage to hit things that resist your Ice and Poison dual stab, and then also Ice and Poison in general is good dual stab. I did consider Neuroforce for a while, but I opted for Merciless instead because it fits their whole vibe of like being this parasite that poisons you and like saps away your life force, and it's just such this cool ass parasite. I fucking love it. It's so cool. That's also why I gave it Strength Sap. Quite a few of the Ultra Beasts will have that move just because it fits their weird vibe. In general, a lot of Pokemon have that in this hack. And that makes it beautiful, especially with it helps it take physical hits better. Also, Ice Poison is actually good defensively now, or at least good enough. It has 6 resistances, I believe. It resists Bug, Flying, Dragon, Ice, Poison itself, and Grass. So that's 6 resistances, and then it is weak to Rock, Fire, Steel, and Psychic. So only 4 weaknesses in exchange for 6 resists, and then of course you do have that Levitate. Whenever you need it, you swap that on, and now you're immune to ground for that boss fight. You can switch it right back to Merciless after the fact. It's not something you'd be running every fight, but it's always really good, and obviously it fits very well. A couple of the other Ultra Beasts will also have Levitate as an option, as is par for the course for a hack like this, where you have that infinite use ability capsule. You also have infinite EV training items, so you can run max HP, max Spadef for some boss fights and just be an absolute sponge on the special side, because it has an incredible special defense stat. And you can use that with Strength Sap and, you know, Toxic, and you can stall things out, so it's not just fully offensive. it can also be a fast utility mon for certain boss fights. You do have Volt Switch, you have T-Spikes, dual screens, you know, all types of good utility. Acid Armor gives you +3 defense, so use that in conjunction with Sub and Black Sludge and Strength Sap, and this thing is never dying. It's so fun. It does also resist First Impression. However, First Impression will go through Acid Armor defensive boosts, so it'll still probably die to a strong stab First Impression despite being resistant because of how frail it is on the physical side. But, you know, from like a non-stab, non-boosted First Impression, it can definitely take one, especially with investment. Before you get Strength Sap, you'll have Recover, but you could Recover has niche use over Strength Sap because Strength Sap does fail on some Pokemon, and also like you might be healing less with Strength Sap versus some Pokemon. But in general, Strength Sap is better. Recover is still there though for a cool little option. I was gonna say you use Recover for earlier in the game, but then I realized that these guys are gonna be caught at like level 60 anyways, and I could push their moves back a little bit, so Strength Sap is at like 65, which I might do after this video honestly, but that doesn't matter too much because that'll matter more for when the hack is actually out and you can play and use the Pokemon in game, which is again what these are all balanced around. Speaking of Aurora Beam, good utility as well with Water Pulse and Ominous Wind. Those 3 moves will always drop attack and special attack by 1. Freeze Dry is great coverage as well. Mirror Code is really good with your great special defense for certain totems and stuff. Subspace Tear is a really cool coverage move that most of the Ultra Beasts will get because of the whole interdimensional deal. That's a really strong special Psychic move over Psychic if you don't, if you want that extra power. Sludge Wave, Sludge Bomb, great stabs, 110 base power. Sludge Wave is the same as Glaciate, which is also 110 base power. Both of those are 90% accurate and drop speed, while Sludge Bomb is more consistent. I would not risk the 10% chance to miss on Nihilego on such a frail physical Pokemon unless I knew that I was safe if I did miss it. Otherwise, I would just run Wide Lens with like other inaccurate moves like Flash Cannon or something for certain boss fights, or Blizzard or Hydro Pump or Focus Blast or Thunder, Like Sludge Wave plus Glaciate or Blizzard with Thunder, Hydro Pump, Focus Blast, or Wide Lens would be good for certain boss fights, because then you don't have to worry about that miss with that 15% accuracy boost it now gives. But yeah, I would not risk that miss chance otherwise. Otherwise, I don't know what else to say. It's just so fucking cool. I want to use it so bad. Like, it's such a cool ass ability combination and move pool and typing and stats. Like, I love the Ultra Beast if you can't tell. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it off there though. Hopefully I explained everything pretty thoroughly. That Black Sludge, like I said, is huge, and that's not the same item you're gonna be using every fight. Super effective Weakening Berries, Assault Vest, Choice Specs, Choice Scarf, Life Orb, Expert Belt. Even just like simple items like Focus Sash, like all those items are still useful in certain boss fights. The difficulty is balanced around getting past certain boss fights by using creative combinations of items and moves instead of changing around your team. But of course, you can still do that if you want. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna leave the video off there. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back for more coming up. Peace.